In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your front brakes on your Cadillac ATS. It's located behind the front wheel. Remove your front wheel using a 19mm socket. Remove your wheel. We're going to remove these two pins and this and the pads first. Use a punch and tap it out. Once you get that far, you can pull it out the rest of the way with some pliers. I'm going to use some wire cutters just to grab it, pull it out. You are going to see this move and free it up a little bit. You can push down on here to remove it the rest of the way if needed. Like so. Set that aside. Do the same on the top. This one will be easier to come out because there's no more tension on it. And remove that. Let's remove our bleeder screw caps. Use a flathead screwdriver, a little pocket one to help you out. And we're just going to crack free our bleeder screws because we're going to push these pads against the pistons and the caliper. And it's better to do that by letting the brake fluid out instead of it back into the system. It's also easier to press the caliper. Once you do that, you can just press a little bit. And that loosens it up. You can close that down for now. Just don't tighten it too hard because you will be compressing the caliper again. Now we're going to remove the whole caliper and hang it up on our spring. We're going to do that with a 21mm socket and take out the two bolts in the back. Put your hanger on your spring, get it ready. You can also use a bungee if you don't have one. And use a 21mm socket to remove these two bolts in the back, to remove this caliper, and hang it up on the hanger. Now we're going to remove this bolt and this bolt with a 21mm socket. Once you remove this one, it will make it so the caliper falls, so make sure you have a good hand on it. Remove the bolt, and now you're going to slide the caliper off. Make sure you have a good hand on those pads. You can take them out. And hang up your caliper. We're using a bungee cord as well to secure our caliper for when we compress it, because it's a little bit awkward with that hanger. So just make sure that the caliper is secure and you're not stretching that hose out. You're going to use a brake tool that can press both sides out. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to slide it in and make sure it's on all four pistons. There's two on each side. And we are going to press them away from each other so that there's room for the new pads and rotor. I'm just going to set it up, and then we're going to open our bleeder screws. Well, you did not over tighten those, so they're easy to open now. and let's press them in. Make sure you have a drip pan below to catch any brake fluid. Do this till it stops. As you can see, the brake fluid's coming out. Once it stops, you can tighten your bleeder screws up. Once those are tight, we're going to clean everything up and change our rotor out. Now you're going to clean off all the dust, if there is any, and also your bleeder screws and any drips that may be there. You're going to go in and make sure it's just nice and clean with a wire brush and clean up that caliper. Make sure these holes are clean. Let that drip dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to take off my rotor. You should have screws holding on your rotor somewhere in here. There's many spots there could be. But if yours are missing, you're just going to remove your rotor. Ours are missing. Spray that down. Get your backing plate while you're there. Again, make sure you have a drip pan below. And now we're going to put some anti-seize on that hub. Since our screws that are supposed to be in the hub are broken and we don't have any holes to put screws in, we're going to use a lug nut to hold the rotor close to the hub while reinstalling the caliper. You're going to slide your caliper on, lining up the lug nut studs like that. And we're going to put our lug nut on. At this point, you would put your screws in, and that'll hold that in place. Now we're going to put our pads in the caliper and lock them in with those pins, and then we'll put the caliper on the rotor. Now we're going to clean up these pins and also this bracket. You want to make sure that it's not really corroded. If it is, you're going to replace them. Ours look pretty good though, so we're just going to wipe them down. And you can go ahead with some emery cloth and just make sure they're clean. Here's a wire brush as well. Do the same on the other one. Wipe it down. And now I'm just going to wipe this down as well, make sure there's nothing rusty on it or caked with dust. Wipe it down. You also want to clean off your bolts that came out for the caliper. You can use a wire brush or a wire wheel if you have one. Once that's clean, we're going to get ready to install. Apply a little thread locker on the end of your bolts. And get those ready. We're going to install our caliper. Take it off your hanger. Position it. And you can get a bolt started, either the top or the bottom. Before tightening that down, you can get the other one going. Now we're going to snug these up. We will be torquing those later. For now, we're going to put our pads in. Now we're going to slide our pads in. If they don't slide right in, you should probably clean it more. We're going to put our pins in and our bracket. We'll slide them from the inside going outside. You got to feed it through the pad hole. Pointy side in. Get both pins started. Make sure they're going through the pad hole. Get your bracket ready. And your other pad should be pulled out enough to receive the pin. You're going to do the top one first or the bottom one first, whatever is easiest for you. Guide it and push it through. Use a little hammer and just tap it. It'll stop. And now you're going to push this in and slide the other pin through. And a little tap. May need a little screwdriver to help guide it. Once it stops, and it's in. Make sure your bracket's still where it belongs, where it's supposed to belong. And we're going to go ahead and clean off our bleeder screws one more time and tighten those down again. Now that everything's secure, it's a little easier to give a little extra. Put your bleeder screw caps on. And now we're going to torque our back bolts to 111 foot-pounds and then go another eighth of a turn. Now we're going to torque our bolts to 111 foot-pounds. And after we're done torquing that, we're going to go another 30 degrees. There's the 111 and 30 degrees. And now we're going to do the same to the top. And then the 30 degrees. So now that we're done on this side, the process is the same on the other. If you still have your hanger in there, you can take that out. If you used a lug nut to hold that rotor still, you're going to remove that. If you use the proper screws there, you should be fine. Let's put our wheel back on. Get your lug nut started. Put the last one on. We're going to tighten those up and then torque the wheel to 103 foot-pounds. Let's tighten these up. I usually do the bottom one first and walk the wheel on. Tighten it in a crisscross manner. We're going to torque our lug nuts to 103 foot-pounds. You're going to do this in a crisscross manner as well. I'm going to go around one more time. After you do the other side, you're going to get in your vehicle, make sure you pump the brake a few times to get that pedal nice and hard, and go for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.